Max Landis. He recently put out a video on YouTube here. Pretty much was his pitch for a Superman movie that I guess could have been that he had pitched to Warner Brothers at one point or was going to do something with them about it. Um, he was writing the what was it called American Alien. Is that what it's called? The comic line.
Yeah.
Which John, you said you read and you really liked that. So
It was great. It was
I
a
mean,
great series.
from what I understand, watching this, and I don't know, you said you haven't made it totally through this video, right?
Halfway, yeah.
So from what I got from it, um, was it a continuation of American Alien, like that
Yeah,
Superman
so
character?
it was supposed to be a direct sequel to. He's got some setup cards that run over the very beginning of this video, and it's supposed to be a direct sequel to his American Alien storyline that he wrote. I don't know. God, that's been maybe 5-6 years ago now that those issues were released.
Right. Because like there was a lot of stuff in here. Like I randomly came across this. It was like I was about to go to bed. It was like midnight or something, and I was just sitting on YouTube, just looking at random videos, and all of a sudden I see this, and I was like, I had seen it a little bit earlier, and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this right now. Like it's already past midnight, and it's like 54 minutes long. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, it popped up again, and I was like, damn it, I guess I'll see what it's like. I just turn it off, and I ended up watching the whole thing. So like him telling it compelled me enough to keep going through. So if you guys haven't watched this, and if especially if you are familiar with American Alien and enjoyed it, this is actually too what this dude says here, and this Jack's Blade guy comment here says that he'd watch a whole animated movie on this. I actually think after listening to the whole thing, it would actually work extremely well as one of DC's animated films, like
It
to some degree.
I would love to see this get made as the comic or graphic novel that it was intended to be, and then maybe made into one of the animated movies. It's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for that to happen, because Max Landis got wrapped up in the whole Me Too issue, and there's a lot of people that have made some pretty serious allegations against him, and he's been off of the table. He's been kind of out of the public spotlight since all those allegations came about, and I think it's been going back to 2017, maybe early 2018, that the allegations were made. And I haven't, as somebody that kind of followed his stuff, I liked Chronicle, I liked American Alien, like I said. I mean, that's you never know what your creators are into in their personal lives, and it came out with some stuff that wasn't very nice about him, and he's maybe rightly so, he was removed from the public spotlight and he hasn't done much. I'm curious if this is his attempt to kind of put himself back in the public eye. If he's made adjustments to his life, or if he's made amends to the people that he hurt, and this is him trying to make his way back in. But regardless, the story concepts are very interesting, and I thought quite good.
No, I totally agree. Like, obviously go watch the video, everybody, of him telling the story, because I'm not going to do it any real justice. But it was like the main, juxtaposition of it all was that like Superman was, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I might be forgetting this was like late when I was watching it, but he was like newly Superman and being trained by Batman, as opposed to like the BVS story where Batman sees him and thinks of him as a threat. Instead of doing that, he like approaches Superman and wants to train him to, in some ways, be another Batman. Like not like directly put on like the cowl and like go beat people up at night, but just train him. Just like be way better, because this was kind of the main gripe I had with his whole pitch for it and everything, was the fact that Superman kind of seemed like an idiot. Like, you made him like a little bit too straight up dumb and too naive, I think is what you would describe. I didn't really care for that too much, because like my main argument with how, like, I don't really see how he would be that naive is the fact that because they made him, like, being very naive to just, like, I don't know, basic human things. Like, it made him very, like, childlike sounding the way, like, Max would portray, like, some of the dialogues Superman would have between, like, him and Bruce or him and Robin or whoever. And,
Yeah.
didn't make it just wouldn't make any real sense to me, kinda like I was complaining about musicals just randomly happening. Like, doesn't make a whole lot of sense because 'cause you're looking at Superman, who's like a 30-year-old dude who grew up with humans, raised by
Mhm.
humans in the human world. So he wouldn't be naive to just basic human culture, and he wouldn't
Yeah.
act like a teenager when he's like a 30-year-old dude, which was kinda how Max was portraying him. If they were gonna do like a Superboy thing, maybe it would make more sense for him to be acting that way, but, like, they literally had it to where he even says, like, Robin's, like, 18 years old at this point, and Robin was more mature than Superman, like,
Mhm.
just through all the dialogue he was saying that they were gonna have and the interplay that they had, like, no, there was some funny stuff, like, you haven't got to it to, like, the end, but, like, the way the movie or show or comic series or whatever would have ended was actually there's one good line at the very end of it that Superman has that was, like, it was actually good, because, like, I was very up and
I'm,
down.
I mean, spoilers for those that haven't seen it, but you can go ahead and tell me I'm not.
Okay, well, spoilers if you're worried about getting spoiled on a 54-minute pitch from a writer who this thing's probably never gonna get made anyway, so, you can go watch the video, but so, I don't know how far you got into his little pitch thing, but eventually, his story here is essentially ties into The Killing Joke, but from Superman's perspective. So, he goes, like, don't know how far you got, so it's kinda hard for me just to pick up, but the Killing Joke stuff happens. Barbara Gordon gets shot, okay?
Okay.
Like, so all that happens. And then, like, during this time, it's not only just, like, the Killing Joke stuff's happening, but, like, all of the like, it's pretty much mayhem in Gotham. Batman's missing, no one can get a hold of him, and that's when they find out that, Barbara Gordon had been shot, and, like,
Yep.
Superman and Dick were out dealing with Aquaman and didn't know any of this stuff was going on, and they return and, like, chaos is happening in Gotham, no one can get a hold of him. So, at the very end, once they deal with all that stuff, Batman, essentially calls out, Superman and says, like, "You're not ready to do this. Like, you're not ready for this. You're too naive. You're pretty much a terrible person. Like, you're stupid." And he is stupid because that's how he's been portrayed the entire time, right? But then so Batman, like, whips out some kryptonite suit or something. He's affected by the kryptonite, then him and Robin have, what John Landis or Max Landis, John Landis' dad, what Max Landis was describing as a John Wick-esque fight between Batman and Robin, and, like, just the craziest thing you've ever seen kinda thing, and it's
Yeah.
cool because it's Batman versus Robin and blah, blah, and then at the end of it, like, Superman, like, gets up and, like, pins him to the wall with one finger because, like, the kryptonite wore off enough. And, like, he's like, Bruce, like, just yelling at him, like, "You're just, like, mean and blah, 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 whatever." And then he says, like, "And if you do anything out of hand, like, blah, blah, like, I'm gonna kill you." Like, just, like, gets all, like, really, like, shitty with him, like, putting him in his place. And I'm not giving this any justice at all because I don't remember what he was actually saying. Max Landis made this sound a lot cooler, but he's sitting there just pinning him up to the wall with one finger saying, like, all this stuff. And then Robin goes and helps Superman, and just, like, they go to leave the Batcave, and then Dick's like, "Oh, you're, like" what I forget what he said, but he's just like, "Oh, so you're gonna, like, kill him, while you're gonna bring down the wrath of God on him, huh? Like, huh?" And he's just like, "Yeah, yeah, do you think he bought it?" And he's just like, "Well, he's letting us leave, so, yeah, I think he bought it." And, like, they're just, like, walking away. Like, it was much funnier when he says it, but it was, like, a good little, like, go watch the last 10 minutes of it, if anything, because it actually
Yeah.
was like it wrapped up very nicely. And, yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, the interplay between the characters, he has Max Landis seems to have a good knack for how they play off each other. Um, so,
That was one thing I actually thought was, like, probably the best part about it. I know
yeah.
you, Rick, you're sitting here in La La Land because you have no idea. It's a
No
54-minute
idea.
thing that you didn't watch any of, so just picture I don't know everything I just said, but extended out with a bunch of canon and lore that you don't know anything about.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds real good, right? But yeah, if anything, you Rick, go check it out.
I'll check it out.
It's actually like if you got an hour to kill for everybody and you like Batman and Superman and you're interested in like a new and interesting take. Because I will say one of the other cool things is just like how many characters, like, because I pictured this pitch as a movie, like as he was like explaining it all,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
it would have absolutely no place in the current continuity of like DC's movies because I mean, Robin's there at 18. Uh, he did write Lois as being like a badass though, and he really emphasized that. So like that was actually kind of cool. Which, speaking of the Me Too stuff, I mean that's it's no surprise that if any of that allegation is true, it's definitely better for him to write a very powerful woman, and you know what I mean. So I mean that kind of makes sense that he would really be emphasizing that. And but I mean I don't know anything about that. Whatever the fuck. But all that was cool. There was honestly, dude, you should just definitely everybody, please go watch it because there was actually some. Despite how I didn't like the Superman stuff, totally, just because I thought it made him a little bit too stupid. There was a lot of really good stuff that I'd like to see in there. Like,
Well, it's done interestingly too. It's not just him sitting there reading the script. I mean, he kind of acts out the parts a little bit here and
he
there.
makes it
Plus,
entertaining.
they cut in different graphics and scenes from around the world. Like when at one point they visit Qatar and they cut in a shot of the city of Qatar, and so it's not just simply somebody sitting there reading you a script, kind of bland and dull. It's more
It's
entertaining.
entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he like acts it out and emphasizes stuff too. Like he'll use voices. He's a writer, so he's very. It's not like incompetent. It's much better than what I was trying to do. God forbid. I was trying to remember this off the top of my head for something I watched around like I said, like 1 o'clock in the morning. By the time I seen the scene that I actually liked, so I liked a lot of it. You should go check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. It's something I could see becoming a movie, like an animated movie, far before I could see it being a live action movie. And
Yeah.
I think just based on the way he characterized a lot of the characters in general and their characterizations, I think that really lends itself well to being an animated thing. So go check it out.
Well,
Yeah, let us know, and everybody check it out. Let us know what you think down in the comment section below.